What's up? Ryan K here, and this is a tip about working from home. Look, everybody these days wants a work from home job, and it's not just because they're afraid of COVID anymore. Work from home enables employees to take back power, specifically the power of where they work. For some, this might mean no more commuting, and they're tired of that drive time where they're not getting paid. But for others, it might enable them to move to somewhere away from their work, a smaller town, a place with a lower cost of living, maybe closer to their family or close to their recreation. Maybe they want to move to the mountains or move to the beach or somewhere, a foreign country even. The problem is demand for these jobs has gone way up, and there's a lot of people struggling to find one of them. We generally think we can just go out to Indeed and search for a work from home job. The answer is, while it sounds amazing, and while way more companies are open to work from home these days, it's still not as easy to get into a work from home job as you might think. And the demand for it means it's open to scams and a whole bunch of stuff, but actual real work from home jobs, they're not just that simple to get. Here's the reason why. Work from home has always been viewed as a risk by most employers. They worry about if people will actually be working and stay on task. They worry about how they will get their questions answered. They fear that, maybe the equipment, the internet, their home office won't be as good as it is in the office. They worry about their kids being around and causing distractions. And they fear that they will lose their culture and connection to their employees. You might not agree with these things, but they are valid concerns for employers who aren't experienced at managing work from home employees. You can argue over if these fears are valid or not, but you should probably save your breath. These individuals who have these fears won't be easily convinced. Don't try to change their mind. Instead, you need to be more pragmatic about your approach to getting a work from home job. Look, work from home was talked about extensively in the 4-Hour Workweek book by Tim Ferriss. And if you haven't read it, you should go download it and check it out. I would venture to guess that before COVID, that is where most people learned about work from home. Or it was people who worked in the tech world or for small businesses that were working from home. One of the most overlooked parts of his approach was that it was a very step-by-step methodical approach of going from working in the office to working from home. It wasn't just simply to go out and apply for a job. Simply put, his suggested approach, and the approach that most people have taken who've worked from home jobs today, is not the approach that most people are trying today. They didn't just go out and apply for a work from home job, they created it. He didn't suggest to go out and search the web or search Indeed for a work from home job. He didn't even suggest applying for work from home jobs. The suggestion Tim Ferriss made was to methodically convert your current job into a work from home structure, to take it step by step. And this is where the secret lies. Simply put, it's a process. It's not applying and getting the job, it's converting an existing job over. Getting a job, any job, comes down to two main things. The likelihood that hiring you presents a risk to the company, and the likelihood that hiring you will be wildly successful. This is even more true with work from home, especially for employers who haven't done a lot of it. So let's talk about the first one, which is risk. Employers don't like risk. The bigger the employer, the more likely they have an HR team behind the hiring process, and the more likely they're worried about risk. But managers and business owners are worried about risk too. We've all been burned before by making a bad hire. The first job of a job seeker looking to get a new job, any new job, is to lessen the risk of hiring you. You need to reassure them that this won't turn into a giant mess. That's why employers look at resumes and hope that your resume looks like something they're used to seeing. That's why they look for experience and education. If you want to get a work from home job and keep a work from home job, you need to understand that employers and managers generally see it as more risky than you working in the office. That's not about you. That's just about the situation and what they're used to. This isn't to say that you're a lazy person, but you need to accept the fact that employers feel less control of their work from home employees than of those in the office. Whether that control is real or not, this is the reality in their head. So you need to find a way to lessen their risk. That's job number one. Or you need to find a job where it will be less risky for you to be doing it from home. I'm going to talk about how to go about this in a second. Number two is success. Once an employer or boss or manager, whatever the case may be, doesn't feel it's risky to consider us, now they're looking for who has the most potential for success. You've checked off the box that you're not a risk. Now they start to look at the chances that you're a diamond in the rough, that you're this amazing person that has this huge upside. And by this, what they're looking for is what are the chances that you could be an above average performer in the job you're applying for. Normally, this is where they're looking at your unique qualities that are going to set you out from the crowd, not the similarities, which is what Risk was about, but the differences. It could be your street smarts, it could be your personality, it could be your network and all the people you know and you're connected to. Any of those types of things. It could be your crazy ideas and your genius, your tenacity and your drive. Now, what does this have to do with working from home? Well, setting yourself up as a low-risk hire with high potential for success is even more important when you're asking to get a job where nobody's going to see you doing the work. And this right here is the crux of it. If you weren't trying to make sure that your risk was low and your success was high before, you're going to have to spend even more effort to do it now. To break this down, I came up with a scorecard or a way for you to think about this. Start with the company. You need to ask yourself questions about the company that you either work for now or want to work for. How likely is this company to be open to their employees working from home? You don't want to be the first one. Start with the industry. How popular is work from home in that industry that you're targeting? Tech, very popular. Restaurants, not very. Number 2, company. How much experience does a company have with work from home people? Are you going to be the first person? Number 3 is the business area. How often is that area of business done from home? Will your team and managers also be working from home, or will it just be you? And then finally, job role. How often is the actual job you're applying for done from home in that given company? The lower the score on those 4 areas, the more difficult it's going to be to find a work from home job, either at that company or in that industry or in that function. You can then adjust the likelihood of finding that job by adjusting or changing one of those 4 areas. Maybe look for a job in a different business area. Maybe look for a job in a different industry. But just know that the more of those you change at one time, the harder it will be for you to make the jump. But that's the 4 things you look for in a company. Now let's look at your previous experience and how likely you are to be allowed to work from home, right? Number 1, how much knowledge and experience do you have in the industry you're applying to? Are you brand new to the industry? Have you been around that area forever? Number 2 is the business area. How much knowledge and experience do you have in that area of the business, whether it's marketing, sales, accounting, etc.? Number 3 is the job role. Have you done this job before? And number 4, is this a company you're already working at where you have credibility? The final one is proof. Have you worked from home before? All 5 of these questions are going to either raise your likelihood of being potentially a success or make you more risky. It doesn't mean you won't be able to do the job or be successful, but if you scored low after answering these questions, don't worry. This scorecard also gives you a way to think through what you need to do to fix it. You don't have to lose all hope that you'll never find a work from home job, but it gives you a step-by-step list of things you'll need to solve for if you want to increase your chances of getting it. Number 1, pick a company in an industry that's more open to work from home. Don't try to reinvent the wheel or be the first one to run down that gate. It's going to be very hard to cut that trail. Number 2, pick a job in a business area that's more open to it, that's more likely to have been done from home at that company or in this industry. With that target in mind, you may have to work in steps to get from where you're at to be in the position where you can get that job. Look at your previous experience scorecard for the job in question and try to make small moves either with your current job or with a side hustle, your main full-time job or your part-time job. Each move will be easier if you take them one step or one area at a time, meaning move from one industry to another while maintaining the same job role and the same business area. Move from one company to another but staying in the same industry. If that seems like too long of a path for you or too much risk to do it with your full-time job, there is another option. You can use the scorecard above to identify your best opportunity in the right role, in the right business area and industry, and get a side hustle or a part-time job to start building up that experience along the way. You don't have to be working 20 or 30 hours a week at this part-time job to start to build your credibility and experience in that area. But that's for another video. So hopefully this video finds you well and it makes sense. You've got to methodically think through this move. If it was easy, everybody would have a work from home job, but they don't. COVID may have forced a lot of companies to allow their workers from work from home, but that doesn't mean they're going to maintain that structure unless they've seen that they can reduce the risk and increase the likelihood of success. This, simply put, isn't as easy as you'd like it to be. I wish it was super simple, but there is a proven way to go about thinking through and making the leap from where you are now over to where you want to be, which is having control of where you work, when you work, how you work, and what you work on. Those are the 4 kind of core things that people want when it comes to freedom or control. Today we are talking about the first one, trying to get more control over where you work. Work from home is a great way to do that, but it may not be as simple as everybody hopes it is. I hope this video finds you well. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. You can shoot me an email at askryan@refer.io.com. We have some new courses coming out to help guide you through the process of going from working in an office or working in a building, whether it's warehouse, construction, restaurant, etc., over into the type of job that will help you be able to find a work from home job in the future. So hit us up if you're interested in it. AskRyan@refer.io.com. Sign up for job alerts if you're not currently getting them by going to refer.io/subscribe. You'll be able to go there, click job alerts, and sign up to get our alerts, our career advice, etc. Thanks so much for watching today, and good luck with your career.